ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So welcome to the morning discussion on Thakur Bhakti Vinod, one of our greatest acharyas. I seek the blessings of His Grace Brajahari Prabhu and all others seniors so that I can speak something about our acharya Bhakti Vinod Thakur. In Srila Prabhupada's teachings, quite some places Prabhupada quotes the phrase Acharyavan Purushaha Vedaha. In this world, people are mad for becoming dhanvan. They want to possess wealth. They want to become rupavan. They want to possess wealth, possess the beauty. They want to become gunavan, filled with nice qualities so that others will be attracted to them. But one who possesses an acharya, he knows the Vedas. He knows everything because he knows Krishna. Without knowing acharya, one cannot know Krishna. So Acharyavan Purusha Vedaha. And what to speak of Acharya like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is pioneer of this Krishna consciousness movement. Srila Prabhupada's habits were quite similar to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And the times when Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in this world, they were very, very dangerous times because he appeared on 2nd September 1838. So that time British were ruling on India, and British, they had sent Indologists to India to study Sanskrit and misinterpret the Vedas in English language, so that all the youngsters of India who were studying in these British schools, they would be misled about their own Hindu religion. And as far as the Hindu religion itself was concerned, it was misrepresented by the followers of Gaudiya Sampradaya themselves. Not pure Gaudiyas, but pure Gaudiyas were hardly present that time. There were many Upper Sampradayas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so amazing that he only gave names to these different Upper Sampradayas. They were having different practices, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave them name, just like Gauranga Nagari, Karta Bhaja, Sakhi Beki, Aula, Baula, so many of them. And they were all misrepresenting the teachings, pure teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were having so many deviations. And Hindus who were innocent, who were rather ignorant, they were following them. And those who were educated, they thought this is all useless. This is not pure, this is not proper. So they were also not interested in following this. Rather, they were following the British, who were interested in demolishing or destroying whole faith in Hinduism of the Hindus themselves. So thus, this was very, very difficult situation for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was all alone, but he was ready to face them. So we are really grateful to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Had he not been there, we would not be here. So that's why his teachings are very, very important. For his Pranati mantra we have Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayati. So Namo Satchidananda, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine. He got this title Satchidananda because he wrote one book on Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Premalankar Satchidananda. So ever since that he was given this title Satchidananda. And he also is the embodiment of the power of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaura Shakti Swarupaya. He is the Swarup. He is the embodiment of Gaura Shakti Swarup. So that's why we are very, very fortunate to have him leading the whole Sampradaya. Nobody else was ready because they were practicing themselves, the pure Bhajananandi followers, and there are so many upper Sampradayas. But he was all alone who waged war against the current situation of that time, which was very precarious. And his only weapon was pain. He was a writer. Through writing, he created a revolution. Also, he established Gaudiya Sampradaya very nicely by having Namahatta centers and thereby gave the teachings also. Anywhere one has to create Kranti, revolution, only two things are required. One thing is teachings and the other thing is lifestyle. This is nothing but our Sambandha Gyan and Abhideya. So knowledge has to be propagated, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur did through writing several books, more than 100 books he wrote in his life, despite being so busy, having job and so many 13 children, but he wrote more than 100 books. Also he wrote several poems, several Vaishnava songs in simple Bengali language, which anybody can understand. So through propagating knowledge and also by giving lifestyle, he taught by his own life and he also preached. So some details that are there about him in the book like Seventh Goswami and some other places. He appeared near Mayapur Dham in the village named Birnagar, Ulagram also, on 2nd September 1838. It was Sunday and Shravan Shukla Trayodashi, as we are having this Shravan Shukla Trayodashi. So he appeared as the third son of Anand Chandra Datta and Jagmohini Devi. It is said that he was born with silver spoon in his mouth. They were very rich. But that did not remain as he grew into youth. Then there were a lot of financial difficulties also. He was named in the childhood as Kedarnath. Their family lineage was Datta family. So Kedarnath Datta, because his father had great respect for Lord Shiva. So Kedarnath is name of Lord Shiva. So that name was given to him. He is also considered to be 7th Goswami. One Shishir Kumar Ghosh, in glorification of Lord of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, when I see the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I can only think of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He perfectly shows or follows them. So I can consider him to be 7th Goswami. So that's why he is considered to be 7th Goswami. 6 Goswamis were simultaneously existing around 500 years back. And much later, 2-3 generations later, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there. And he was all alone. But still he is called as 7th Goswami. Some also say that he appeared in his maternal uncle's place. When he was just 2 years old, he had first rhyme composed. One in Bangla or so, Kakkal, like that, Jinjera Fal, Baba Aseta, that he means that, oh my dear crow who was sitting on one branch, that please move aside, my father is going to come. And not only father came after 2-3 days, but the crow also moved aside. This is our Acharya. At the age of 2, he wrote this small poem of only 2 lines. And he was always first in his class, in the classroom, very intelligent. He also had a scientific approach in every field of life. For example, he would see how a chicken hatches out of an egg, and how an insect takes birth. He would watch it very carefully, and he was very watchful of that. He would like to eat jamuns, but then it was in a field in the outside somewhere, and there was also the fear of ghost there. So some people said ghost is there, so he was scared what to do. But then somebody else guided that if you chant his own maid servant, Shibu her name was, that if you chant the name of Lord Ram, the ghost can do nothing to you. So then he would chant Ram, 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 and he would go in that place, and he would also take the jamun, and he would eat with great delight. And also about him, it is said that so many poems he wrote. Writing poetry is more difficult than writing any article or book. But he could write so many poetry, so many poems. At the age of 11 itself, he wrote one poem on Mother Chandi that became famous as Ula Chandi Mahatmya. He was married at the age of 12 with a girl who was of the age of 5. He wrote in 1856 around, he wrote a book on the character of Puru, who fought with Alexander. In his childhood, once he was playing cricket, and the cricket bat very badly hit on his brow, and there was profuse bleeding. And then he did not want to play further cricket. He gave up playing cricket. Srila Prabhupada says that sitting at the lotus feet of their lordship, Shri Radha Madhav, in Choti Mangalpur, Odisha, he wrote the famous song, Jai Radha Madhav, that we sing in the morning before Bhagavatam. Prabhupada prescribed that before Bhagavatam, we chant Jai Radha Madhav. And afternoon we have Bhogarati, Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari, Shri Gaura Hari, Sohi Goshti Bihari, Nanda Yashomati Cheta Hari, Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Shri Gaura Hari. So Pujari inside, as he offers Bhoga, he sings Bhogarati, and after Bhog is offered Rajbhog. Then we have Arti of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song only. Yashomati Nandana Brajabaro Nagara. So in this around 26 names of Lord Krishna are there. Very nice simple names, and such a nice song composed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And in the evening we have Gaurarti. Jayo Jayo Gaura Chander Arati ko Shobha. So we can see morning, afternoon, evening, we have so much contribution of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In particular, Prabhupada wanted us to sing this song, and all these songs are given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur only. And apart from this, so many other songs also he has written. When he saw that there is exploitation of poor people, so he opened a school for them, and he became himself headmaster. And to learn the teaching skills, he underwent teacher training course by learning in some other place. So teacher training course was kind of first taken by our Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Though he was himself very expert, but still to be able to teach proficiently, he underwent that course also. In Bhadrak there is one school of which he is the first headmaster. If we go there and see in the school, they have all headmasters' name. The first is Kedarnath Datta. So he was the founder of that. In 1868, he got Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita copy, and he started reading. It said in some other places that it took 8 years for him to obtain one copy of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In those days, it was not so easy. Now we have so much fortune by Prabhupada's grace. We have so many Chaitanya Charitamrita sets readily available in so many different languages. And many of us possess also. Only reading is missing. Whereas Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so desperate to read, and he was searching, 8 years of search, and he got it. If we are eager for something, Lord provides. And then he read it. After reading, he was so inspired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lifestyle, and he understood he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And he wanted to spread Chaitanya Vani all over the world. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, after reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, I felt anurag. He felt great ecstasy by reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In 1866 only, he had got 3 job offers. One of them he chose, and in 1968, he was deputy magistrate post of at Dinajpur. So this deputy magistrate or district magistrate was the highest post or position that the British would award to any Indian. Beyond that, they would not. They wanted to have control by themselves. But this was the highest post possible for any Indian, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur had it. In fact, he was so much loved by British officers that they would fight among themselves to have Bhaktivinoda Thakur in their district. That Bhaktivinoda Kedarnath Babu should be in my place. And another would say, no, he should be in my place. They would fight. In the glorification of Shad Goswamis, it is said, Dhira Dhira Jano Priya Priya Karo. So the Goswamis, they are loved by Dhiras and Adhiras. Those who are sober, those who are pious, and those who are impious also. So British people also would fight to have Bhaktivinoda Thakur in their place. So you can see how Acharyas exhibit, they have such lifestyle by which everybody gets attracted. So that book he wrote, Sachidananda Premalankar, that was in 1868 only. That was a Bengali poem on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories. And from that time only he got the name as Sachidananda. He got the title called Sachidananda. Jai Shri Radha Ras Bihari ki jai. In 1871, he was posted in Puri. So that time he took the opportunity to go to the sea beach where Haridas Thakur's Samadhi is there. He heard about Haridas Thakur from the local people and he was very much inspired. He wrote one 10-stanza poem on the life of Haridas Thakur. And the 9th stanza is quite famous. He reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die. For thou art living still in sound. Vaishnavas died to live, and while living, spread the holy name around. So this is famous stanza that we have. So he says that person who says that Vaishnavas die, he is telling flat lies. That is not a fact. Vaishnavas never die. While they are living, they spread the holy name around. And after they leave also, they will leave behind a legacy of holy name and sincere practice of Krishna consciousness. In the Puri temple, he saw that there is a lot of malpractices happening. Lord Jagannath is not getting bhoga on time. And there is bhoga offering also are quite less. So he was the one who made 56 offering compulsory and also on time, right on time. So that was Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He did it. Also he found that the king there of this temple of Jagannath, of Puri or Orissa, he also had usurped lot of property of Lord Jagannath, several thousand rupees in those days. So how to get it back? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very intelligent. He called him and he told him, this is the thing, all that. So now you have to return all that money. So he was not so ready for that. So he said, okay, others you are concerned about. So no problem. You have to at least give 56 offerings to Lord Jagannath. That you have to sponsor. So that is a nice way. People will not understand. So he was giving, and as so many offerings to Lord Jagannath, so much money was going. So step by step, all that money was going away. So he became very alarmed. This way I will lose all that money. He had usurped, he had looted. So then he became very angry on Bhaktivinoda Thakur and he was wondering how to finish him off. So he very secretly started one yagya in his house itself, in the palace, so that Bhaktivinoda Thakur could be killed. And the yagya went on for several days. And ultimately last Purna Ahuti was the one by which Bhaktivinoda Thakur would be dead. As soon as he offered Purna Ahuti, his son in the house died. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was okay there. And he came to his senses. He came to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He submitted, he begged forgiveness. He understood he is not an ordinary person. He is a great soul. Also in that time, there were several tantrics. 3 of them were very famous. One of them was claiming himself to be Brahma. Other ones claiming himself to be Shiva. And third one was claiming himself to be Mahavishnu. These were there in Khurda area, where we have Khurda road while going to Jagannath Puri, that junction. So that place around, in the jungles around, these people were there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the one who took care of all these people, and he arrested all Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. All were in the jail, Trimurtis. They can be together there. Especially the Bhishakshen, who was creating a lot of nuisance and claiming himself to be incarnation of Vishnu. And he said, I have come to destroy or remove all the British from India, so that he will get sympathy of Indians also who were suffering under British rule. So British were very scared of him because he had lot of mystic power. So they were scared what to do. So they entrusted Bhaktivinoda Thakur this task. Bhaktivinoda Thakur took Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he had so much faith, and he went there and he told him that you please surrender. He knew because he's tantric, so he knew. He said, Kedarnath Babu, I know you because you are my devotee. Because after all I am Vishnu and you are devotee, so you are my devotee, so I welcome you, come. And it is good, devotee should always be serving their master, Lord, so you better surrender to me. But Kedarnath Datta was not ready. He said, no, I cannot accept you. Where is mention about you in the scriptures? And he defeated him. So then I am going to arrest you, he said. And he told the soldiers. But then as he started exhibiting mystic power, everybody was scared. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you better get arrested, accept it. Otherwise, you'll have to use some other means also. So then he said, because you are my devotee, so I accepted. Because Lord is subservient to his devotees also, so I'll accept. Because he that time thought that is only better. And some other means he will escape. And then he was put in the jail, and the court case was going on, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur only was the judge. So then the court case was going on. So many thousands of his followers, who were foolish followers, who considered him to be the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, they were protesting so much outside the court, etc. But still Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very determined. And on the last day, when the final thing was to be done, Bhaktivinoda Thakur started feeling pain in the chest. And his children also were falling sick. His wife was quite frantic and she told, better you allow that person to be released. Otherwise, just see our children are suffering and all. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, nothing doing. No matter what happens, I will not allow this culprit to go like this. I will make sure that he is arrested and is punished. So then he had so much chest pain, he was not able to walk. But then he sat in a palanquin and was carried by 4 people. Then he went there and he gave the judgment that this person is sentenced imprisonment. So when he was in the prison, he was there. So that time one of the British personalities, he had heard or read somewhere that all these mystic yogis, they have their powers in the hair. So if the hair are cut, then they will not have. So suddenly he attacked on that person, Bhishakshen, and cut off his hair. As his hair were cut off, really it was so, his power completely diminished. And he was like some ordinary, helpless, strengthless person. And he was so frustrated, at one point of time he consumed poison and died in the jail, prison only. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was uncompromising and he was very much daring also. So many odds were against him, but he never surrendered to those odds. He always was surrendered to Krishna. In 1874, when he was there in Puri only, or little before, he was thinking that situation of the society is quite precarious and I am alone, not able to do well. So I need some help. And he prayed to Lord Jagannath, please send me a ray of Vishnu, your ray, so that who could be helpful to me in propagating this mission. So as a response to this, Lord gave him 4th son, that is Bimala Prasad. 3rd was Lalita Prasad. So 4th was Bimala Prasad, who is none other than Prabhupada's spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So this child was a very divine child. He was born only with umbilical cord wrapped around his body like Brahmin thread. And he was just few months old, around 6 or so, when Jagannath Rath Yatra was going on the Grand Road. And exactly in front of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's on the Grand Road, the house, there the Rath stopped. It is said that it stopped for 3 days. Seeing this opportunity, Bhaktivinoda Thakur immediately arranged Harinam Sankirtan, and Harinam Sankirtan was going on. Also taking the opportunity, his wife thought that newborn child is there, he could get the mercy of Lord Jagannath. So she climbed on the top and put the child at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath. Immediately he turned around and he grabbed the body of Jagannath, embraced him. And that time only the garland of Jagannath fell around his neck. And all the pujaris there, pandas, they were very happy. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda's wife also was very happy. Afterwards, when it was told to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur understood. This only is that child who is the response of the Lord to my prayer, that I need somebody who could assist me in this mission. So we know about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what a great personality he himself was. So he was there to assist Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And also because of that reason, when Bimala Prasad was hardly 11 years old, from that time only, Bhaktivinoda Thakur trained him in printing books. They had their own printing press, and everything about printing, including cleaning the machine, how to do overhauling, everything Bimala Prasad knew at the age of 11 only. So much was nice training by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He also got Bhaktivinoda Thakur got initiated in 1880 by one personality called Bipin Bihari. In 1881, several things happened. He got Bhakti Bhavan in Kolkata. Also in 1887, he wrote one Amnaya Sutra verses. There are around 130 Sanskrit verses. Amnaya Sutra. All the teachings very nicely he put in his book. When he was in Tarkeshwar, around 1887 only, so that time he had returned from Vrindavan. Earlier on the bank of Radhakund he was staying. Swananda Sukhat Kunj is there near Radhakund also. And he was so much impressed by Vrajabhumi, and he thought this is such a nice place. He wrote very nice poem. Radhakunda Tata Kunja Kutir. That long song he wrote. And he was so happy. In that song only he says, Ye sab chodata kahi nahi jao, Ye sab chodata parana harao, Radhakunda Tata Kunja Kutir. So that I will not leave this place, Vrajabhumi. I will remain here only, and I will die here only. ये सब छोड़ा था कहीं नहीं जाऊँ, ये सब छोड़ा था पराना हराऊँ. My life goes till then I will remain here only. So he had a plan kind of to settle in Vrindavan. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in his dream when he was in Tarkeshwar and said, what about my Bhumi, Mayapur Dham? When are you going to work there? So many things to be done there. You seem to have nice plan to settle in Vrindavan, but I want you there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur took that instruction very nicely, and then he went to Navadvip. And he started a preaching center in Surbi Kunj. We can see that place is still there. He was staying in Swananda Sukhat Kunj. And in that place, Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, his spiritual master, was also given a kutir. That place is also still there. And Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj would also come there. And small Bimala Prasad also would be there. So all four acharyas, they would have a discussion. Starting from Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishodas Babaji Maharaj, and Bimala Prasad. That is the time, one of those meetings, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj requested Bimala Prasad that you are very intelligent, you know astrology. Why don't you make this Vaishnav calendar, almanac? And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was the one who, because he knew all the constellation and everything, and he, knowing all the situation, he was very scholarly. He designed this Vaishnav calendar that we all follow. When he was feeling that his time is getting wasted in his job, he was in British job. So Krishnanagar is far and taking time. He wanted to give up the job. So British so much were eager to have him because he was so intelligent. What other lawyers, other judge, they would take around 2 hours to solve a case. He would do it in 5-10 minutes only. Very intelligent, very sharp, very fast. And he was expert in so many fields of life. So they thought, they said, no, we don't want to miss you. So your problem is your time gets wasted. Don't worry, for you will have special train. So they led some short gauge track exclusively for Thakur Bhaktivinoda from Krishnanagar all the way to Surbi Kunj or Godrum Dvip, around 25 kilometers also, for only one person, that is Thakur Bhaktivinoda. British will never give so much honor. In the history of the whole world almost, we never hear of any person getting a railway track let down for him, for his alone sake. And that too not by himself, by British people who were so much for their own exploitative reasons. So much they wanted him there. One night when he was there in Surbi Kunj, in Swananda Sukhat Kunj, when he got up and he looked over the Jalangi river across in the northern direction, he found a bright light coming and he got a divine revelation that one Adbhut Mandir would be coming over there. So then he asked his servant, are you able to see bright light there? I can't see anything. But when he asked Bimala Prasad, he said, yes, I see that. So then about this was about not Adbhut Mandir, this was about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. Yeah, so then he wanted to search it out also. There are a lot of other opinions. Now also if we go to Mayapur, across this side, Navadvip town, there is some other, this one, Yogpit also, Advaita Bhavan is there, Srivas Angan is there. So that was misunderstanding. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted to exactly find out which is the place where Lord Gauranga appeared in this world. So he studied all the maps and so many things because he was in British job. So then eventually current location, that is the place, he felt that this is the thing. All the proofs show this is the place. But he wanted a confirmation that whether this is really the place or could be some other thing also. So then he called Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, please come and see whether this is the Bhumi where Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. He was very old then, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He was 120 years old. And his servant Bihari, he would carry him in a basket on his head. He was very lean, thin. So 120-year-old Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was carried in a basket by his servant on the instruction or request of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So as soon as his basket was brought there in the place which was discovered by Bhaktivinoda Thakur to be this is the place of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth. So then his basket was kept on the ground. This Gaurakusha Jagannath Babaji Maharaj was so old, 120 years old, he would be always in the bent posture. His head would be down and eyes also would not open. Somebody had to catch the eyelids and do. So Bihari, when after keeping him there, he took his eyelids and opened them so that Jagannath Babaji Maharaj can see the place. So as soon as he saw that place, immediately he jumped from the basket. He would not even be straight and now he jumped. Some say he jumped 15 feet high and he started dancing, saying that Yahi to Nimayra Janmasthan. This is the birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was enough for Bhaktivinoda Thakur to get full confirmation, because Vaishnav Sarvabhaum, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, has confirmed that this is the birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he took that land and he wanted to build a temple. So that temple, he wanted everybody's contribution. He did not want just few individual rich people to build it, or maybe one individual also sometimes can build. So he wanted everyone's contribution. So he would not take more than 1 rupee from anyone. He would go house to house, every individual's house, and he would say that for birthplace of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we want to have a temple. Please give some contribution of 1 rupee. Sometimes some of the people did not know that this is Kedarnath Babu, that who is district magistrate and all that earlier. So they would insult, they would say, get lost from here. Why are you coming to our house? Afterwards somebody would tell him that you know who that person is Kedarnath Babu, Kedarnath Datta. And then that person would feel bad and he would invite, sorry, please. He wanted to give more, but he said, no, I want only 1 rupee. So like that, eventually that temple came up. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so amazing. He wanted everyone to be involved. His schedule is given in some places. It is said somewhere like 7 to 10 or so, he would take rest. 7 o'clock he would take rest. For catching any train, he would go to the station 2 hours before. We go many times, half an hour before we come, we will feel that we have wasted time. And generally 5 minutes before, 2 minutes before, some devotees, they jump in the running train also. So many calamities also happen. But he would reach 2 hours before. Somewhere when I told this, the devotee asked me, what you would do? 2 hours before he reached, what he would do? What will Acharya do? He will never waste time. Avyartha kalatvam. He might be writing there or thinking, or he might be chanting Hare Krishna, or he might be preaching to people there. They will never waste time. But 2 hours before he would reach the station. So we can pray to Bhaktivinoda Thakur on this day that at least we reach little before so that we can catch the train properly. So he would sleep at around 7 o'clock and 7 to 10, 3 hours he would take rest, or sometimes it is at 8 to 10. Then 10 p.m. in the night to 4 in the morning, 6 hours he would be writing books. That's how, despite his so much busy schedule, he could write more than 100 books. That is possible by only overcoming this night sleep. Srila Prabhupada, we can say, exactly following in the footsteps of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada also would sleep around 10 o'clock and get up at 1 o'clock, and 1 to 5 around he would write the books. So this comes from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's lifestyle. 4 to 4:30 he would little bit rest, maximum half an hour. Then 4:30 to around 7 he would chant on the beats, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Around 2.5 hours he would be chanting on the beats. Then 7 to 7:30 he would be replying letters. He would dictate to his personal assistant. He would dictate and that person would write down reply for all the letters that he has received. 7:30 to 8:30 for 1 hour he would be reading different religious books. 8:30 to around 9:15 in the morning he would be visiting guests. 9:30 or so till 9:45 he would rest briefly for 15 minutes. 9:30 to 9:55 around he would take bath. He would take prasad. Prasad also was fixed, some 2 chapatis, some milk, something. 9:55 he would leave for his job. 10 to 1 he would be doing the first session in the court. Around 30 to 50 cases he would solve in just 3 hours. Then 1 o'clock he would come home, take bath and then get refreshed. 2 to 5 again court. 5 to 7 in the evening he would translate books, translate Goswami's latest books, etc. from Sanskrit to English. And 7 o'clock he would take bath, evening bath. He would take dinner, 2 chapatis, little rice, dal and half quarter milk. So he would hardly rest. And you can see how busy schedule he had. Also he had one pocket watch in his pocket. He would take it and he would be very punctual. He would keep referring to that watch and everything was on schedule. No delay, nothing. He wrote Navadvip Parikrama book. Navadvip Parikrama as given by Nityanand Prabhu to Jiva Goswami. So he wrote that book. In around 1891, he started preaching. For preaching sake, he started opening Namahattas. And it is said sometimes that more than 500 Namahatta centers he opened. And so many people were able to accept Krishna consciousness in an organized way. In 1894, he retired and he got into fund collection for that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. And in 1895, installation happened. In 1896 only, he had written a book on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life and precepts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he sent it all over the world, different libraries all over the world. And that book became very famous, so much appreciated by so many scholars. They came to know the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a very nice way. And it was also in English. First time the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in English language were broadcasted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur only. He was pioneer in that. Also because there were about the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there are some differences of opinions. So he accepted Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj as his Shiksha Guru. And he was under his guidance. He was going on spreading Krishna consciousness. In 1900, he got Bhakti Koti in Jagannath Puri. Now also that place is there. And last 4 years, he was into writing books. He was also chanting several rounds. He also accepted Babaji Vesh in 1910 to 14. For 4 years, he had Babaji Vairagya, which had accepted from Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj. There were clothes of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, which he wanted to accept as Babaji Vesh from Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj. So he requested Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, could you please award me those clothes of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, being very renounced, Sakshad Vairagya Murti, he did not want to take that privilege because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is such a advanced personality, offering him. So he was denying, no, I don't, please don't. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur was too much requesting. So he was behind him. So Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj started walking. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was behind him. Then Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj started running in the streets there. So then one point of time, Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj was fully missing. He was not visible only. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was wondering, where is he gone? So Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj entered in one prostitute's house. and he kept chanting there, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, knowing well that Bhaktivinoda Thakur will never enter in prostitute's place, and he will not be even able to think that I could be here. Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj is very renounced. So anyway, he kept chanting, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur was wondering. Till now he was within vision. After this corner turn, where is he gone? And he did not find, so then he left. And afterwards, Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj came out laughing, said Bhaktivinoda Thakur could not catch me. But anyway, afterwards, Bhaktivinoda Thakur again caught him and requested, please give. So then Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj had to give him. So he was given Babaji Vesh of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj by Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So in last 4 years, he was completely absorbed in that bhajan, completely involved in that. And in 1914, he left his body. He is Kamal Manjari in the spiritual world. Kamal Manjari is an assistant to Ananga Manjari. Some things, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one striking, very amazing thing, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's whole life, if you read that 7th Goswami book, so many times he fell sick. And diseases also of different varieties. So many. And for that he had to go to doctor. But an allopathic doctor, like one particular allopathic doctor, for eyesight was weak. So he recommended you eat fish head. By eating head of fish, then your eyesight will be clear. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was wondering what kind of guidance medicine is this. So he did not like that. So he recommends the Ayurvedic medicines, not allopathic medicine. That is the recommendation of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Because these medicines, allopathic medicines, have all different varieties of things. He also recommends that Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, they should take at least 3 baths per day. He says that out of the one who gives Harinam Diksha and Brahman Diksha, one who gives Harinam is very important. Just like Nam Guru hi, Diksha Guru hai. In our case, many times it is the same, but sometimes whosoever gives Harinam, he is the Guru. He says that Pratishtha goes only to one who is running away from it. Very nice teaching. Our Gaurang Prabhu says, Pratishtha Nari Sada Kuvari. Because those who want Pratishtha, she runs away from them. But she is running behind those who are running away from Pratishtha. So Vaishnavas are very humble. They don't want any prestige. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, that's why Vaishnavas become so famous. Like Prabhupada is the best example. So many people went to West and other places in India also. When they opened their spiritual organization, they gave their name. This ashram, that, this Baba's ashram, that Baba's ashram. But Prabhupada did not name as Prabhupada ashram, Prabhupada samstha or something like that. He said International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In fact, there was opposition for that Krishna word also. Why not God consciousness? It's little general term. So many others can also come. Prabhupada said that God is only Krishna. We know it. So why not directly write Krishna only? So International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Thakur personally trained Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur and awarded him the entire scriptural instructions. But for accepting Diksha, when Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur approached his father Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, no, I will not give you. You find out some Guru. And we know later on Bhaktivinoda Thakur accepted Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj as his spiritual master. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Sadhu Sange Harinam is the most important thing. In Prema Bhakti Chandrika, Srila Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya recommends that if we want to overcome the 5 anarthas of the 6, lust, pride, greed, anger, illusion, etc. So for greed, he says, Lobha Sadhu Sange Harikatha. So same thing Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Sadhu Sange Harinam is the most important thing. He wrote several books like Jaiva Dharma, Chaitanya Shikshamrit, Datta Kaustubh. He comes in the Datta family. So all the family, all the way connecting to Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya, all that connection he wrote in this book, Datta Kaustubh. He wrote Amnaya Sutra, Sri Krishna Samhita, Navadvip Parikrama, Harinam Chintamani, Bhajan Rahasya, Dashamula Shiksha. He also wrote bhajan books like Kalyan Kalpataru, Sharanagati. So very amazingly he has written, very philosophical, and also nice tips are there for practitioners of devotional service. I personally very much appreciate in the Jaiva Dharma when I read this famous shloka, यस्यात्मबुद्धि कुणपे त्रिधातुके स्वधिकलत्रादिषु भौम इज्जति यत्तीर्थबुद्धि सलिलेन कर्हिचित् जनेषु विघ्नेषु स एव गोखरः. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation from Jaiva Dharma I am telling. So he says that 4 buddhis are mentioned in this verse. Atma buddhi, yasyatma buddhi, kunape tridhatuke, sadhikalatra samamata buddhi, my wife, my children, etc. As we know, Atma buddhi is I am this body, which is made up of kapha, vata, pitta, one bag only. But I am this body, and my wife, my children, everything. This is mamata buddhi. Yat tirtha buddhi, tirtha buddhi. That is, if you go to holy place, just take it deep in the holy water, all the sins are eradicated. Now you can do anything in life. Yattirtha buddhi and ijja, bhauma ijjadhi, ijja buddhi. 4 buddhis, ijja means bhauma ijjadhi. Where I am born, that place is glorious. Mera Bharat Mahan, because I am born in Bharat. So this sloka condemns all these 4 buddhis. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation, positive explanation of this verse, how these 4 buddhis, one Madhyamadikari, he implements on others, Vaishnavas, particularly other Madhyamadikari. So our Krishna also. He says Atma Buddhi, I am Krishna's. And then Mamata Buddhi, Krishna is mine. Not that wife, children, etc. I am Krishna's, Krishna is mine. Ijja Buddhi, the other Madhyamadikaris and others, they are worshipable. Devotees are worshipable. Just like we do Guru Puja for Prabhupada, we worship him with according to Pancharatriki Vedi. So we should be able to worship other devotees also. No question of offending any Vaishnava. Rather being able to worship them is particular Madhyamadikaris and even Uttamadikaris. And Tirtha Buddhi, the devotees are themselves the holy place personified. As Vidurji was also glorified by Yudhishthir Maharaj. What is the beginning? Kirthi Gurvanti Tirthani, Swantastena Gada Bhrutaha. Bhavatvidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho, Tirthi Gurvanti Tirthani, Swantastena Gada Bhrutaha. So this explanation, I love it very much from the Jaiva Dharma book by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had around 13 children, but all were so qualified, such nice devotees. He says that when I enter in the house, one child is playing kartal, another is singing, leading kirtan, others are following, one is playing mridanga, many are dancing, one is worshipping the deities. So, Jedina Grahe Bhajana Dekhi, Grahete Goloka Bhai. When I enter in my house, I feel like I have entered in Golok Vrindavan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur would also like kachori, pakodas. So, Prabhupada also would like kachoris, pakodas. And he only made a prediction about Adbhuta Mandir. That there is one huge place from where Gauranga's flame, name and fame, glories will spread all over the world. That Adbhut Mandir will come. That prediction was also given by him. And Srila Prabhupada then wanted TOUP, Temple of Vedic Planetarium, coming in Mayapur. And that dream is coming true. Soon we'll be able to witness that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's contribution is so much in our life. Such nice, humble songs in which he puts himself in a very humble way. Amar Jivan Sada Paperata Nahika Punera Lesha. So saying my life is always filled with pap only. Amar Jivan Sada Paperata. Always I am engaged in sinful activities. Nahika Punera Lesh. There is no trace of pious activities. Similarly, Gopinath. Gopinath Mama Divedana Shuno Vishayi Durjana Sada Kamerata Kichu nahi mora guna. In this also is saying similar lines. Very humble. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But on the other side is also glorifying holy name. Nama bina kichu nahi ko aro Chauda bhuvana majhe. Wandering through all 14 planetary system, I don't find anything sweeter than holy name of the Lord. Sweetest of all sweet things, the holy name of the Lord. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given so much to us. And Prabhupada also is handing over that legacy to us. So we are so fortunate to be guided by such Thakur, like Bhaktivinoda, such Acharya. And as I said in the beginning, Acharyavan, by hearing about the Acharya, by hearing his lifestyle, contemplating, praying at his lotus feet, we develop tremendous strength in spiritual life. By their grace only, we came to devotional service. And by their grace only, we are able to proceed forward in nice way. So our debt to our acharyas cannot be repaid. And somebody feels that I can take out the skin and make shoes for offering to the acharya. that is not enough. Even if we do it life after life for all of eternity, still one cannot pay one's debt to the Acharya because the contribution is so enormous. There is no comparison of anything material with anything spiritual. So that's why we owe our whole life. Our dedication is to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we pray at this auspicious day at his lotus feet that he empowers us to be able to take this legacy which he has forwarded through Prabhupada to us and spread it all across the world, following in his footsteps. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Is it okay? Question? Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। तो प्रभु आपने कहा कि और लिखा था अभी आपके पास कि भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर बाबा जी संप्रदाय से दीक्षा हुए और वैसे गौर किशोर बाबा जी भी है, तो क्या अंतर है गौड़िया मठ में और बाबा जी संप्रदाय में, और हम कौन है, या कुछ एक्चुअली बाबा जी है या कैसे है, हम क्या है इसके बारे में?
There are two types of Uttam Adhikaris, Bhajananandis and Goshtyanandis. So the real truth is a Bhajananandi desires or empowers a Goshtyanandi to be able to preach all over the world. Bhajananandi himself, he is so pure at heart, he can sit in one place and purely chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And a pure sound vibration of the holy name goes all around the ether in the universe. And when next he empowers Goshtyanandi, a preacher, to go, when he goes and he preaches, all those vibrations impact the people, and then preaching takes place in a very wonderful way. So that way there are two types. Within every Bhajananandi, there is a Goshtyanandi. Every Bhajananandi desires that preaching should be done. And for whatever reasons the Lord dictates through heart, he may not do that, but he will empower some other Goshtyanandi. And within every Goshtyanandi, there is a Bhajananandi. Every person who is preaching has to be very deep in his bhajan. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is the best example. Before starting preaching in the Maya city of Maya like Kolkata, he chanted for around 9 years, every day 192 rounds. There is nobody else in one sense, apart from the prostitute delivered by Haridas Thakur, who chanted so many rounds, 192 rounds daily, and Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is the only person who did it for 9 years. He wanted to chant some 100 crore holy names to get purity, strength, to be able to preach in the city of illusion, Kolkata, and so many other cities. So this is the proper understanding. Now there are so many other people who get into bhajan, and that is different reason. There are many fake people, they don't have purity. Many of them go to Radha Kund, keep chanting throughout day, and then it becomes like Narak Kund, as our acharyas have said, because they indulge in with the widows there and do all nonsense. Or some people take to Babaji thing to get some roti. People will be appreciative. So this is not the way. Even for that matter, Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, when he left his body, there was fight among those so-called Babajis to have his body in Samadhi in their mutt, so that so many people will come and they will earn lot of money. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, no, this is my spiritual, I am the only disciple, I only have the right. And you know how the challenge was taken forwarded. And then they all could not defeat Bhaktivinoda Thakur because they were all indulging with women. And he said, my spiritual master never had any contact with any woman. So I am the Naishtik Brahmachari, nobody can claim his body, only I claim. And he nicely put the body in Samadhi. So we have to be deep in our bhajan, morning program, our daytime class, whatever we have. But we also have to preach. We have to go out. Jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Agya Guru Haya, Tare Desh. Lord Mahaprabhu only has told us, and Prabhupada, all the acharyas. So we have to go out also, preach also, and we have to go deep in our bhajan also. Both things should go on side by side. Not that we go only to preaching so much, and then we don't have strength. We are not chanting properly. We are completing rounds at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night, and we have not attended Mangal Arati, and our mind is completely going astray, and there is dryness, But still we are going on preaching. It's like a well. When you draw the water from well, it has to have natural supply from inside. If that is not the case, as you keep drawing water, then eventually it will dry up. So that should not happen. So that's why we should be deep in our bhajan through morning program, which Prabhupada wanted us. Prabhupada designed it with His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. We have to participate fully in the morning program, and daytime also some spiritual activities, like we have festivals, daytime, whatever it is. So they all have to be attended with devotees to get strength to go out and preach the message of the Lord. So both should be there simultaneously. Is that भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर ने क्यों लिया?
हरे कृष्ण। हाँ, तो यहाँ एक भक्त थे हमारे, राधा प्राण बोल के, और बहुत साल रहे, मेरे साथ में रहे, संकीर्तन किए, सब कुछ किए, और अंततः वो राधा कुंड में गए और वहाँ पर बाबा जी बन गए, और आज तक वो जपा करते हैं, परिक्रमा करते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं। लेकिन हम लोग समझते, हम लोग बोलते हैं वो बाबा जी बन गया।
नहीं, ठीक है, हमें प्रभुपाद को फॉलो करना है, और अगर किसी के गुरु ने उनको अगर दिए है ब्लेसिंग, so that may be okay. Just like in Prabhupada case also, there is one disciple who was given Babaji. Prabhupada was not ready, but he developed some disease, and it was told 6 months max he will live, and he will die after 6 months. So then he wanted to take Babaji wish. So he asked Prabhupada through some disciple. Prabhupada said, no question, we don't give Babaji Diksha and all that. So then so much disciples were saying, but Prabhupada, he is not going to remain after 6 months. Last 6 months only. So then Prabhupada reluctantly agreed, and that was given. That person was given Babaji Diksha, and he chanted several rounds for 6 months, but then he did not die only after 6 months. Maybe the doctor did not tell properly, or something went some way. So we are not so much for all the time chanting, nor are we capable of being able to chant purely. Just like I said, Babaji means sitting in one place, he vibrates pure holy name, and whole ether is purified, and vibrations assist the forthcoming preachers. So that kind of purity we should have. Otherwise we should just follow the lifestyle given by Srila Prabhupada only. And Srila Prabhupada knows we are Kali Yuga products with all impurities. We don't have so much qualification to go to Radha Kund and all that.
क्योंकि प्रभुपाद ने जो हमको इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, ये तो बहुत बढ़िया है। इसके अंदर कीर्तन भी हो रहा है, भजन भी हो रहा है, जपा भी हो रहा है, अध्ययन भी हो रहा है, श्रवण भी हो रहा है। लेकिन बाबा जी बनने के बाद तो उनका गोल तो एक ही रह गया, और वो इसे होता है। तो इसीलिए ये जो दीक्षा बाबा जी दीक्षा लेते हैं और हम लोग दीक्षा लेते हैं, इसमें क्या अंतर है, कितना अंतर है, क्या?
It's very clear. We just follow Prabhupada's teachings. There is no any kind of ambiguity or confusion. We have to just follow. And here only we will develop. Tishtan vraje tadanuragi jananugami. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that means, we have to have our mind in Vrindavan. Otherwise, those who become Babajis prematurely and go to Vrindavan, then they are wondering now what to do about my food. कहाँ से मिलेगा? So then they go for begging here. And रोटी के बारे में सोच रहे, बोल रहे हैं हरे कृष्णा, और अंदर सोच रहे अगली रोटी कहाँ से मिलेगी। तो क्योंकि यहाँ इस्कॉन में रेडीमेड रोटी मिलती है, अंदर रहो, सेवा करो, भजन करो, रोटी मिल जाएगी इधर ही, अंदर ही अंदर। उनको नहीं है ना, तो फिर उनको सोचना पड़ता है। ऊपर से मुंह में हरि नाम और मन में रोटी है, तो रोटी के लिए भागते भागते इधर उधर। तो why to do all that? Prabhupada has let down the whole program. We should stick to Prabhupada's lotus feet. Then our success is guaranteed. Srila Prabhupada की जय।
कमेंट बाकी है हमारा।
हाँ, अच्छा। I don't mind, but I don't know what is the rule. Okay, ठीक है।
हरे कृष्णा। प्रभुपाद जी एक्सप्लेन किए हैं व्हाट इज कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस, कृष्ण भावना क्या है। प्रभुपाद जी बताए हैं अपने किताब में। उन्होंने लिखा है, अगर किसी को कमल का फूल मिलता है तो अपने मित्र को देता है, लेकिन वो अगर कृष्ण भक्त है जिसे कमल का फूल मिला है, वो लेके राधा रस मेरे के चरणों में अर्पण करता है। ये कृष्ण भावना है। अनुकूल्य से संकल्प, प्रतिकूल्य से वर्जनम, रक्षित विश्वासो, गोप्तृत्व वर्णम तथा आत्मनिक्षेप कार्पण्यम, षड्विधाम शरणागति। शरणागति के 6 लक्षण हैं। जो प्रभु के सेवा के लिए अनुकूल हो उसको स्वीकार करना, प्रतिकूल से वर्जनम, जो प्रतिकूल है उसका त्याग करना, अनुकूल संकल्प, प्रतिकूल से रक्षित विश्वास हो कि गोविंद प्रभु हमारे निश्चित रूप से रक्षा करेंगे, ये दृढ़ विश्वास होना। गोप्तृत्व वर्णम तथा, और प्रभु हमारे पालनहार है, जो कुछ भी हमें है, चाहे आवश्यकता है, वो प्रभु संभालेंगे, हमें इसकी चिंता नहीं करना है, हमें खाली सेवा करते रहना है। आत्मनिक्षेप कार्पण्य, और ऐसे कोई समस्या है जिसका निवारण आमतौर पर नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो हमें उसको प्रभु को निवेदन करना है कि प्रभु ये समस्या है, आप कृपया इसका हल करिए। ऐसे कोई समस्या नहीं जो प्रभु उसका निवारण नहीं कर सकते हैं। और नंबर 6 आत्मनिवेदन,
कार्पण्य,
कार्पण्य, हाँ कोई कष्ट हो, हाँ कोई कष्ट हो तो प्रभु को बताना,
नम्रता,
हाँ, और नम्रता, और इसके विनम्रता, और इसके बाद है आत्मनिवेदन, जो
आत्मनिक्षेप हो गया, आपने बता दिए 6 के 6।
प्रभु के प्रति आत्मसमर्पण कि प्रभु हम आपके शरणागत है, कृपया हमारा रक्षा करिए। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।